Alright, so here's my CB. I'm gonna put on a lighter exhaust. So the package here, I need to open this up. See what we got here. So we need to put in the mounting thingamabob clamp. There's the clamp. Here's the mounting bolt, the hanging bolt up here. Alright, there should be a couple washers for that. There should be a washer on each side. That's one washer. That's the other washer on the other side. There should be a bolt for it somewhere. Actually, let's look at all of them. Alright. So the washer, this thing is for the. So here's for the spring. So this actually mounts onto the stock header, basically right up in here. And you mount. I need to slip this on past the header on this side. Mount that on right there, so that way the spring will hook onto one side, and the other side it will hook onto the exhaust over here. Something like that. Right. So that's that. I probably need to do that first. Well, that's a pretty small. It's a pretty small Allen head right there. That's not even a 4, I don't think. That's like a 3. Wow, that's tiny. There it is, a 3. That is tiny. So this looks like a stainless steel. It might be a good idea to put some anti-seize on here, I think. See, this is on the outside, so it goes like so. Because this right here is like that. And it's like this. So that means it's like something like that. That means this is like this. So the bolt goes in from the back side. Goes in from the back side like that. Let's actually get this on here. Spread it out to past this stopper. Okay, that's the stopper. I think I might have to get some anti-seize or something. So right now, because it's open really wide, the threads are not lined up. I have to basically kind of squeeze this together like so. So that way both of, this is basically the nut side where it's threaded will be perpendicular to the bolt. Otherwise, when it's open like this, it's not perpendicular. It will, it'll cross thread. So I have to actually squeeze it just to get some threads in there. But actually, I should put some Loctite on this. Not Loctite. Anti-seize, because I think this might, over time, it might seize up. Again, this is stainless, so stainless it tends to gall when you torque it down. So that might be a good idea. This kit didn't seem to come with anything as far as anti-seize goes. So there's that. So there's the nut right here for the bolt, for the hanging bolt. Get my washer ready. Well, these other ones right here, this is for the cover. This cover right here, so I'll worry about that in a little bit. Let's see, do I have everything? So let's put this in. I want this thing to actually probably be on top of that. That way, if it gets wet or whatever, it would just drip down to the bottom, the water, instead of being like this, the water collecting down here, and this stuff, collecting water, it's more likely to rust. Even though this is probably be hot when it this will be hot when when you're riding. But let's say afterwards, when it's you're parking it in the rain or whatever, or after you wash your bike or whatever, water will collect down here on the bottom. So I'm probably gonna put it up on the top of this. That way water just runs down to the bottom here in this. It doesn't cause the corrosion to occur as much on here. So let's put that up on here somewhere. That seems to hold. I think that's it. So let's put this on. Oh my god, this thing is so light compared to the stock one. The big difference. Oops. Yeah, the clamps on there. Clamps on there. Let's get this thing out of the way. Oh man, that's a tight fit. Actually, that's a good thing. It's a tight fit. You want it to be nice and tight. So squeeze this thing all the way in, or all the way until it basically bottoms out. It bottoms out with the stopper ring. That's what I want. So something like that. And now I just have to spin this thing until it's in the right position to fit. Spin this thing until it's in the right position to fit the mount up here. Look at it. The mount is there's a little gap there. So you don't want that. So I'm outside in the right spot, because the cool thing about this thing is because of the shape of the can, it ain't it's not gonna spin, so it's just gonna be wherever it's supposed to be. So it's like that. So I'm gonna spin that thing until it's kind of in the right spot, like so. It's pretty close right there. Yeah, it's not right there. So just pretty much in. Slide this thing back and forth, getting it close to there, and it's like that. That's it. Gonna have to lift the can up a little bit, because it does jiggle a little bit. So I have this side in here. Slip that through. So I like the fact that this mount loop is also carbon as well. Lots of times it's not. Lots of times they use steel for this. Usually stainless, which is okay, but I prefer put the washer on. I'm going to put the washer on, then the bolt over here. So I think this bolt is a I think I'm going to add a washer back here. The factory has a washer as well. I think I'm gonna add that, because the other side of this mount right here, it's there's like a tiny mini washer, but it's not, it's not a fender washer like this is. So this is a fender washer. So I want to put a fender washer here too. So here's the factory. That's the factory washer right there. I want to put this in there as well. Let's get this back out. So I'm going to put it in between. There is a washer back there. I can feel it, but it doesn't feel right. It feels like it's. Actually, let's take this thing off. See what it looks like. It doesn't feel right. Seems like it's not right. Slip this off. Oh, I see what happened. So there's the factory, it's basically like a spacer in there. It has this washer on here, and it looks like it's welded on there as well. It looks like it's welded, but it wasn't welded properly. You can see how it's not square. How it's not square with the spacer. It's like so it's bent. What the heck is up with that? That's kind of cheesy. That's really cheesy, actually. So because of that, I don't want that to dig into the carbon here and cause it to cause it to get damaged. Because if the carbon gets damaged, it could break. It could fail from there. I don't want this thing to. I don't want the hanger to fail, to break. And the good thing is that this bolt is long enough that I have enough threads to get, you know, get the bolt all the way through the nut on this side. Right, so like that. So I need to just tighten this down. I'm not sure what torques. So this side I believe is a 12 millimeter. Let's see. Oops. Oh, it's not a 12 millimeter. You know what it is? It's a 13 millimeter. Freaking as well. I mean, a lot of Europeans, they always use 13 millimeters. You know, Japanese never use 13. Japanese use a 12 or a 14. They never use 13, especially Honda. I never experienced Honda using a 13, but all the European companies, they always use a 13 millimeter instead of a 12 or a 14. They usually use a 13, and I think the reason why they do that is because 13 is the closest thing to half an inch. So that's that. On this side, this bolt up here, that's a Torx obviously. I'm not sure what size that is. Let me put my Torx bit on there and see what size that is. Let's see, let me try this one. That was too big. Let's make one smaller. Okay, so that fits. So that's a 40. Torx 40. Okay, you got a Torx 40 there. Down here, this one is also a Torx. Is that a 40? Well, that's big. Well, that's interesting. Man, talk about not using the same size. They should use the same size. That's a 45. Torx, yeah, Torx 45. Man, that's goofy. They should have used the same bolt size. That's kind of goofy right there. That's bad planning, I think. Bad planning on their part. And also, so I'm gonna, tying this down. When you tie this thing down, make sure that it's see how the can end here has the splits. So you have to split it. Make sure that this band here is over where the split is. And you see how right here the split ends, and it's solid. You don't want it to clamp where the solid is because that doesn't do nothing. Clamp it, all the way at the end where the split is. Okay, and this one was a 3 millimeter, and you need to rotate this around like so until you get to line up with this, and this thing has to be on the other side of the stopper ring, because you remember what the purpose of this is. Is a spring right here that basically pulls the header to the can. It pulls the two together. All right, so it pulls these two together. So that's why it has to be on the other side of that stopper. And with that, the best thing to use is a spring hook tool. So I have one of these spring hook tools in here. So this thing works really well. For the longest time, I didn't have one of these, and I did all kinds of goofy ways. Man, I think one time I hurt myself because I was using something. I can't remember what I was using, and it wasn't one of these. I was pulling on the spring, and it was hooked on here, and somehow whatever it slipped. And when I was pulling, when you're pulling towards yourself, right? So it slipped, and I basically hit myself in the face. I hit myself in the face, and I think I gave myself a black eye. That's how hard, that's how hard you were pulling. I was like, after that, I was like, oh, I went out and bought one of these. And this thing's not expensive, it's only like, I don't know, $7 or something like that, $10 maybe. So go buy the proper tool so you don't hurt yourself. That was real dumb. But it's funny how that is. You end up hurting yourself, then you go and get the right tools. Okay, so that's that. And over here, up on here, that's the cover. So that's this thing right here. I haven't even opened it yet. Let's see. Open this thing. There it goes. So basically, so just in case you don't touch this cover here. Oh, that's also. Oh, it's actually carbon as well. It's real carbon. It's not fake carbon. That's cool. So it mounts like that. So that way you don't touch this part of the pipe. And that one has two. That one has two bolts as well. also torqued. Let's see what size that is. That looks like a 30 or a 25, maybe 30. Yeah, it's a Torx 30. So you're using a Torx 30, a 40, and a 45. So there's 4 freaking washers here. Why is there 4 washers? So there's these 2 for this, these 2 for these. So that's obvious. Oh, actually, it doesn't even fit. Why doesn't that fit? Oh, it doesn't fit. That's this one. Oh, that one doesn't fit either. I guess you have to screw it in. Let me look at that cover again. So the cover can't fit this because this one's too big. Yeah, it's too big. That doesn't fit. So that means it has to be on this side. Oh, it's actually this sandwich. So this big one is on the back. This big one is on the back, and the small one's on the front. I think what they want is they don't want the I don't think they want the carbon fiber to directly touch the can. If it touches the can directly, it'll melt. Because remember, carbon fiber, there's the carbon strands and the resin that got glues the strands together. And that resin is, it's an epoxy. I don't think that epoxy could hold up to the heat. So that's why it has the 2 spacers. So the bigger spacer is on the back side, okay? On the back like so, and that. Then you put the smaller spacer, and actually this is not even metal. This is, looking at it, I think it's an insulator. I think it's a heat insulator, so it doesn't transfer too much heat. Like so. Then the bolt goes through, like so. So yeah, so this is the insulator. Let's see how much room it has. So this thing is very thin. This way is very thin, so there isn't that much slack that it takes up. And so it goes like so. So there's plenty of space there. So with the cover on there, it still has half of this bolt left, which is more than enough to go into the threads here. Okay, so that's that. So that's how we're gonna do it. I think I will probably, should I do it on camera or off camera? Let me do a second video. So stay tuned.